Hi, everybody. Welcome. It is Wow Women Wednesday. So every Wednesday we focus on a woman who is inspiring, who has overcome adversity, who has walked through hard things and come out the other side to show us what is possible. Today we have Kierra Jones with us. Kierra is a creative. Welcome, Kierra.
Hi, I'm so excited. Thank you.
Yay! So happy to have you here. Kierra is one of my coaching clients, and she is so inspiring, not just to me, but to other people in our group, our money intensive program that we did together. Is it okay if I share your results?
Oh yeah, I'm world.
Okay, awesome. You've been sharing them everywhere, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's good. So Kierra took our money intensive program and she manifested $45,000 in 40 days. And she is such an inspiration. She works hard, but she is so deserving of all the success, and she has grown leaps and bounds since I met her. She is so much more in touch with her spirituality. She is meditating, she is journaling, she is in tune, and she is even expanding into healing work now and doing some writing and healing. And I'm so excited to see what you do with that, because you are a master manifester. So whatever you touch turns to gold, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to help so many people. So I can't wait to see what you do in those areas too, because obviously your photography is thriving and you're a talented artist. No doubt. You've helped so many women to love themselves and to be more confident in their own skin. And it's such a beautiful thing that you do. So I asked Kierra to come on today because I know a little bit about her background, but this is the first time I'm hearing her full story. I'm curious as well, what makes Kierra Kierra and how she has the motivation she does, what inspires her, what motivates her to achieve what she has. And also, I know a little bit about her background from starting from more humble beginnings. And I want to hear more about that and how she believes that it projected her into her current path and the success that she has today. So Kierra, go ahead and start where you want to start.
Well, honestly, I was a little surprised that you asked me. I was like, I'm not interested. I was like, I don't have this big story that I overcame. But then I took a step back and I was like, okay, I've gone through some stuff, so maybe I have. So this is interesting to me, but I'm from Indiana. I turned 24 this year. I just got married to my husband, Caleb, and we have 2 dogs. So we're just chilling in Indiana right now. I am the oldest of 4. And then my mom had me when I was 17, or when she was 17. So I feel like I grew up really quickly because I was helping raise the other kids when she was working. She was a single mom for a long time because our parents got divorced when I was 10. And then my biological dad was never in the picture. So the guy who raised me adopted me at, I don't know, 14 months old or something. So it's a very blended, separated. And then my mom came out as a lesbian when I was 12 and married a different woman. So we had gone from mom and dad, or single mom, to mom and dad, to they got divorced, and now I have a new mom. And then she moved across the country to Arizona when I was 16, and I had a college scholarship for Indiana. So I decided to stay in Indiana at 16, my sophomore year of high school, and live with my grandparents, so my tuition was paid for. So for the last 3 or 4 years of high school, I lived away from my siblings, away from my parents, and that was a huge transition for me. It was hard. I kind of I don't know, I feel like it built me who I was. I was dealing with sadness, but excited because I knew I was building for the future. So that is a long
Let me stop right there. I feel like a shift happened there for you, and that environment, changing up your energy and being, with your grandparents, but also out of that role of having to have that heavy burden that was put on you unfairly, really early in life. But also, how did that serve you?
It was good. So it was when I opened up my business. I opened up my business at 16.
Wow.
So,
Oh man. That's
right, this is
amazing.
year 8. technically I started charging when I was 18 because I was a legal adult, so I could legally open, but I've been photographing friends and family since I was 16. So that was a huge shift career-wise because I realized like what I wanted, but I didn't like go out with friends like other high schoolers. Like I was a floater. I was friends with everybody, but I would stay home and work on the weekends and like edit wedding galleries. So I feel like I've always been, all of my friends are always older than me. I've always been like an old soul. I don't hang out with people my age. My husband's 4 years older than me, and then his friends are older than him. And all of my girlfriends are in their late 20s, early 30s. So I've always felt like I've just vibed well with people who are a step above me too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting to me looking back on as well.
So you started your business at 16?
Yes, 16.
Holy crap. Like I was selling pizzas at 16. Like
I've never had another job. I never worked fast food. I never worked retail. I didn't babysit other than my siblings and my neighbors. So I have never had a boss. I've only worked for myself.
That is amazing. And so tell me, what did your business look like at 16? Like, what were you charging? Were you doing like all the digitals? What did that look like?
Well, I have like a heart and brain condition called neurocardiogennic syncope. So I couldn't drive until I was late 17, early 18. So my grandparents were driving me to all of my sessions.
Wow.
And my dad was driving me to my weddings.
Wow.
So my very first wedding, I was like freshly 16. It was raining. It was outdoor. We didn't have a backup. I charged $150 for starting at 8 a.m. and we didn't leave the reception until 2 a.m.
Wow.
And we drove to Kentucky. So it wasn't even in our state.
Wow.
And yeah, my dad drove me there and I shot all day and they got all the digitals. And I thought $150 was like the coolest thing. I felt so successful at 16.
Wow. That's amazing. And then how did your business evolve from there? Like, did you have a turning point, you'd say, when you started to step into, charging your worth and really being aware of that?
Definitely. So when I was a freshman in college, I discovered boudoir. Like I didn't really know what it was, but I was like, okay, I feel like I could do this. And then I shot a couple sessions and I was like, this is my jam. Like this is what I want to specialize in. So my hometown is kind of small town Indiana, so they're very conservative. So I was like, here we go.
That's a perfect place to open up, right? Like, because people are like dying to express themselves, probably like, like.
So I started my Facebook group back in 2015 and I recorded a video and I was like, hi, like they didn't even have like Facebook Live really. So I was just like, I'm going to do this thing. If you want to, get half naked on camera, cool. And then that exploded. 2016, I took my first like workshop for boudoir where they introduced like IPS pricing and charging your worth and like you don't have to be running around like a crazy person.
And for people who don't know photography, what is IPS?
So in-person sales. So I'm designing the artwork for them. I'm picking out their outfits. You don't just show up the day of your shoot and then get all of your digitals. And I know a lot of like my girls are in your group now, so they're going to see this. So they know how hands-on. So you meet beforehand. We do a consultation. Basically, we walk you through the whole process and give you something that you can look back on years from now and not just a USB of your images that are going to sit in the drawer.
Right. And it's such a more valuable experience. Like it's a boutique experience, very customized, like to each woman. And it adds so much to her experience when you meet with her in person and help her decide, because who is used to seeing themselves in their underwear and being like, oh, I like this one. Like we don't see that usually, so it's like a very different thing that they need a lot of hand holding. And I know from my experience with boudoir as well, that there's a lot of healing work that happens before, during, and after a boudoir session. Have you experienced some of that as well? So I know you're getting into healing, which is no coincidence that, you've started in this genre of photography that is a healing art, in my opinion. So can you talk a little bit about that, like how you have experienced healing for others, or how that kind of is incorporated into what you do?
Yes. So I would say main client is a mom in her 30s to 40s trying to find herself. I don't get a lot of clients who are doing this for their like spouse or partner or because they want to look like a supermodel. Normally it's for themselves, which is good because that's what I feel like I attract who I would resonate with. And I've had so many people tell me this is like a therapy session, or they'll leave in tears, or they were doing it for a gift and then they realized that it was more of a gift for themselves than their partner. And then my mom is a healer and a Reiki master, and I've always just kind of shoved, like, oh, that's your thing. I don't do this. Last October, had like a crazy, weird past life vision, spiritual awakening, but I didn't know what it was until like literally when we started CoCreate, I told Caleb, I was like, oh shoot, that's what was happening. Like, it's not because, I was just having this weird dream and like it was a complete out of body experience. So just kind of accepting the fact that, okay, you're intuitive, like you've got more than what you've been suppressing. Like, how about you open up to that? And I feel like it can go hand in hand with boudoir. So I'm really excited to merge and mesh the two into one big business.
That's awesome. And for those of you who don't know, CoCreate is a group program that we did to help women unleash their spiritual gifts. And I would never know that you hadn't like practiced spirituality before, or, you came in and then Caleb popped in one of the videos, your husband, and you both were so open and receptive and tune in. And I was so drawn to you as well. Like, your energy pulled me in immediately. And then I saw Caleb jump in. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you all are such a model of love. And that's something else, I'm going to be getting into more with my clients as well, helping them really love themselves first and then attract a partner like Caleb, who said, Kierra is my abundance. Like, he said that during our call. And I was like, like, it was so beautiful. He was just like, the way he spoke of you and honored you was so beautiful. And I got to witness that. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally interviewing you all for my love program that's coming soon. Because you all are just such a model of, but really being secure in yourselves first. Like, you all are young, but you know who you are. And you're solid, you're confident, and then you all came together in that sacred union. Like, that's what it's about. And that, in my mind, is what makes a lasting partnership, is being really whole yourself first, no matter what age that is. It looks different for everybody. For you all, you happen to find each other early. It seems like you do everything early. You started your business early. Like,
that's the thing. And so far, everything we do. Okay, one day we were like, let's go on vacation. So we left. Let's buy a new car. So we bought one that day. Like, we live very spontaneously, but like, it works out. And I was not in touch with my spiritual self at all until literally like July 25th, like 5 days into the money intensive. So when you said, oh, I wouldn't be able to guess, no, like, this is like barely 2 months in and I'm already like, oh shoot, yeah, no, you need to be doing this. Wow. So super fresh.
And we are very aligned because July 25th was the day that I moved into my new home.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
That was like you popped in, I was in my new energy and feeling like free and happy. And then that's when we got connected that exact day. That's amazing. I didn't realize that was your date. That's one of my dates too.
Yeah, I remember we started the class like on the 20th, but I ordered the journal late from Amazon. So I started a couple of days later, and that was the day that I was like, okay, here we go. And then
talk to me more about the money piece. So in order to allow in $45,000 in 40 days, how does that feel? What led up to that? And I mean, I have a lot of questions about this because I know people want to know, like, how does that even happen? And I've shared your result with many people, and the first thing they say was, well, what does she do? Like, how, like, and there's a little bit of like anger or frustration that like what? Like, how is that possible? People are like defensive about it. And I shared it with someone and they were like, well, what does she do? And I said, she's a photographer. And they were like, well, what kind of photography? Like very accusatory.
Mhm.
Like, and so talk to me about that. So how did you get to the point where you knew you were deserving of that amount? Like what led up to that? What kind of mindset work did you have to do to get there?
Well, our goal is to buy a house. Our lease is up in January, so like we're trying to save for that. And so normally the business, my numbers are around 20,000 a month.
Mhm.
I've had way higher, I've had way lower. But post COVID, things have been weird.
Mhm.
I didn't have a ton of clients booked, but I knew I had more than what I had in July. So I was like, this is a stretch and it's going to be interesting. I was kind of trying to prove it. I was like,
Mhm.
I was like, show me that
Mm.
manifesting works because
Ah, I love it. I love it.
so I
So
was
good.
almost like testing the universe, like, okay, like,
Show me.
yeah,
Show
exactly.
me. Rather than being like, give this to me, you're saying, show me that this is possible. So you are trusting the universe to help you with this and to like co-create with you. Like,
Yeah.
not like I'm going to work my ass off and bring all this in and kill myself just so I can buy this house that I so desperately want. No, like you ask the universe to partner with you. And
Yes.
that's the difference there.
It was such a mind shift change. Like, and I'm still working through this. My biggest block is like realizing that money does not have to come from a logical source. Like, it could just show up for you, literally. And I was trying to like lay out which client was going to buy which package, how many sessions I need to do. And then, like, halfway through, I was like, no, like, it's going to happen. It's already done. I've already energetically made that decision. I've put it out there. It's done. And I think we ended up with like 45,506. So
Amazing. Now, did you write that number? Is that the number you were going for when you did the manifestation challenge?
yes, it was 45,000 or more. Yeah.
Wow. How about that? That is like, I love that. That's
It's
huge.
mind-blowing. And then like the day after it happened, Caleb and I were still just kind of like, we hit it. And it didn't sink in. And then I journaled about that and I was like, oh my gosh, like, but I had been telling myself in the journal that we had already had it and like I was planning it. So it really wasn't that huge of a surprise because I knew it
Mm.
was going to happen. I didn't doubt myself.
Mm. Now, the book here is talking about is Journal Yourself Rich by Lindsay Dam. Lindsay Dam is one of my mentors, and she has taught me what I know about manifestation, and it works. Every time I work with her one-on-one, every mastermind program I've done with her, every time I've invested in myself, my numbers have gone crazy too. And that I had my biggest month right after I took her course as well and read that book. So I brought that book into my money intensive course as like a follow-up to what I taught. And it just like made everybody's results increase that much more. So check that book out, Journal Yourself Rich by Lindsay Dam. I'll put a link to that book as well if people want to get it. It's on Amazon. But that is so amazing that I love that that was your number. I didn't even know that that was your number.
So I set a number and I was like, this is what's going to happen. And so like, I know I'm successful and I'm not like ashamed. I'm not afraid to say that. Like, I've worked so hard for so many years. I hit six figures 2 years ago when I was 22 and we've just kept growing since then. But then COVID happened and our huge massive goal that we had just, I don't know, we may turn around and still hit it this last quarter.
Hell yeah. Start
Um,
journaling about it.
but
Until
I
it
was
happens.
like, okay, let's prove it. And then found you through Alex Loveland. And I was like, all right, let's do it. We're going. And we just restarted it once the 30 days stopped. I'm just going to keep doing it with new goals.
Nice.
So,
Yay! I love that. And that also shows that like the work is never done. It's not like you hit the goal and you're like, okay, I'm good now. I can sit back. I don't need to do anything. No, you got to continue growing. And every time you up level, it comes with a whole new host of things to look at, right?
yeah,
Like you're never done, right? So
there's so much internal work
yes.
from like childhood, past lives that I'm like, why am I dealing with this? Well, you did the healing on me the other night, and I feel like I always have to be running at full speed. So I've been trying to be more mindful of that. And it's hard. It's really hard, but it's worth it. And I can feel myself changing and growing.
So what is your next goal for yourself? So I know you want to buy a house.
Yes. So I've got a ton of intentions set right now, and some have timelines and some are just in the near future. So we're trying to hit a certain number in our business bank account in the next 30 days, and that's going well. And then buying a house, I've already decided 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, like visualizing that. But farther down the line, I really want to host retreats based on couples, like him and I together, like spiritual healing connection based, probably throw in couples boudoir while they're there, like in Sedona.
Oh my God. I love that for you. Oh my God. I can't wait to like see this. And I need to talk to you more about this too. Like this excites me so much.
I had never thought about that. I was doing automatic writing. I did a meditation and it was like visualize your life. And I saw the house and I saw that. And then we're trying to conceive within the next year. And we already have a name picked out. We know it's a girl. I don't know how I know it's a girl, but it's a girl. And then I told my mom one night, she's like, oh no, I already felt that. And I was like,
wow.
now I'm just waiting. But my cards did tell me that I had some internal healing that I needed to do before that was going to happen. So I understand. I was angry for a while that it wasn't happening like that because I'm a control freak and that's not something I could control. So uncovering those layers that's been interesting to deal with too, because I wasn't expecting that.
And that also, so when you are a master manifester, like you are, when the universe says not yet, it's very frustrating, right? When you're like, well, I got this, I asked for this, I got this, I asked for this. Where's this? Where's this? You know, and the universe is saying, not saying no, but is saying not yet, you know, and it's divine timing. And you wouldn't want it yet for where you are in the healing process right now. I say this to people all the time. Especially when they want a romantic partner, they're like, where is he? Where is my guy? What does he look like? And I'm like, you need to chill out. The energy you're in right now is not conducive to drawing who you want. Yeah, you could get just anybody, but they're not going to be evolved because you're not evolved right now. You're off your center. You're grasping, you're reaching, you're not in that place to be open to have someone compliment you and to add to your life. You're in that needy, codependent place. So it's the same thing with money, same thing with getting pregnant. Like when we reach and when we try to make things happen and when we're too aggressive, too much in our masculine energy, we're literally pushing it away, making it further. That's why when people ask me, how long is this going to take? And I'm like, well, it's up to you. When are you going to be ready? When are you going to do the work?
That's exactly what I had to tell them. I was almost in an energy of like desperation and not panic, but like urgency. And then I was like, I don't need this now. And it annoyed me when people are like, oh, it'll happen when it happens. Thank you very much, Karen. But that does not I wanted a 6-figure business. I got it. I wanted this. I got that. So yeah, I'm working through that.
And you will find a lot of entrepreneurs who are very successful have a very similar story. I've heard this story many times. It's people who are used to getting what they want when they want it. Like, daddy, I want it and I want it now, you know, like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. I always think of that, like when I, think of that kind of energy. And that's not the way pregnancy works. That's not, it's divine timing, and really everything is divine timing. And some things we're lined up for and some things we're not yet ready for. We're not ready to receive, we're not open, and we wouldn't want it to arrive because it wouldn't be aligned, it wouldn't be right, it wouldn't stick around, or it wouldn't be in alignment with us. And I actually had I had 2 miscarriages before I had my first child, and I was told later by a psychic that the first little girl, and I knew she was a girl too, she was a match to my former self. And I had transformed since, and this little girl couldn't come through to me because she was me before. And my daughter I have now is me now. Like she is
Wow.
assertive and confident and independent. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. So that other little girl couldn't come in the physical. She's around me energetically all the time. She watches me. She like admires me, you know, and she's just in my energy field. But my daughter now is meant to be here. And my daughter is going to take over my business. I've been getting so much information about this from Spirit. Like she is going to be carry on my legacy, and that's part of her destiny, you know, and everything works out the way it should. And that's something I always say, things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me, even when it seems they're not, even when it's taking a long time, even when it's not with the form we want it to be in, or the person doesn't appear to be who we thought we wanted. Everything is always working out for me, you know. So coming back to that. So tell me a little bit more about, you know, so I know when you first started that, you know, like your family situation, like it was, you started from humble beginnings. So do you think that that helped to motivate you to be as successful as you are? Would you say that contributed to it?
Yes. So we weren't like rich or well off, but we were not living in a shack. Like I remember being on food stamps growing up, like when we were younger and like right after the divorce, but it still I always feel bad saying that because it's not as bad as what it could have been,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like we could just go to Target and buy like super expensive clothes,
Mhm.
you know, like look for the discounts and things like that. So that was ingrained in my mind.
Mhm.
And then my parents would fight about money
Mhm.
while the divorce was happening. So like that's all I heard. So I carried money blocks
Mhm.
over with me as I grew up, but I think a lot of people do that.
Mhm.
But I used that to propel me into like I'm going to do my own thing.
Mhm.
Here's this business. Oh, I can actually like I'm making a lot of money and I'm helping a lot of people, so let's grow larger. So I think breaking the past mindset that I had around money was huge, and that's going to propel me even further these next 5 to 10 years.
Mhm. Awesome. Wow. Yeah, you are such an inspiration, and I love hearing your story, and you absolutely like are going to change people's lives when they hear what's possible for them and open them up, you know, to what is possible and the flow of abundance. And so if people have questions or they want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
I have a VIP group on Facebook. It's just my name. It's Kierra Jones Intimate Artistry. I'll put it in the comments of this video too because it's kind of long. But if you type in Kierra Jones, I think I'm the only one who pops up. And there's a business page and a VIP group, so you can follow there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. And I love working with you, and I can't wait to see what happens for you next.
Yay! I'm so excited. You're the best. I had
Yay.
such a good time. I
Oh,
can't wait to see it. Yay!
yay. Awesome. Thank you.